Today is the International Human Rights Day, and it marks the anniversary of the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. The founding nations of the UN have focused on the promotion and protection of human rights in order to prevent the recurrence of the horrors that resulted from the Second World War. Today's symposium has been organized to help students better understand and reflect on the issues of human rights during the Asia Pacific, which is from 1931 to 1945, and to help you make some of the connections to local issues as well as global issues.
I want them to be able to experience lived history, history that's alive in terms of people and the narratives that they can bring to their own lives, and to go out from here and see history as not something dead, that it's something that they can act upon.
And I welcome all of you to BAMTech. It's a wonderful place to be.
As you are well aware, nothing happens in a school without unbelievable student work and leadership, and I'm really honored to ask Julia, who has been so responsible for organizing this conference, to stand with Kaya and Justine to offer you the student welcome.
A collaboration of students, teachers, and guests have made it possible today for you to attend a variety of very unique presentations. We hope that you gain a deeper understanding of the issues at hand and leave with the memory of a great experience.
In Social Studies 11, we focus mostly on the European stage, but this gives students an opportunity to see beyond that and to see beyond what just is happening in Europe, but what happened in Asia as well.
When did World War II start? Now I'm going to give you a few choices. It's 1931, 1937, 1939, or 1941. Okay, so think about it for a second, okay?
Today my role is to present some of the efforts by people in Japan, the Japanese people who are working for peace and reconciliation in Asia. Joy is part of our community, the community of Japanese Canadians, a small community, but are trying to raise awareness on these issues among Japanese Canadians and people in Japan.
You will leave this symposium more compassionate and caring about other people's suffering. Because if someone is caring and concerned about other people's suffering, one cannot be a bad person and will not allow oneself to be a bully to other people. Am I correct?
And by getting us all together as a big group and showing us really what we need to do as a generation to make this better and to make sure that it never happens again.
And this session is organized because we would like to offer an opportunity for you to face the bitterness of truth and the pity and terror of tragedies. Today, we are very fortunate to have Mr. Tony Cowley, a survivor of World War II in Asia, here with us.
85% died of starvation, brutality, and all kinds of tropical diseases.
It's inspiring, it's moving, it's emotional, it's real.
And all these things have been so powerful for me. You know, the witness testimony, the knowledge, because I really believe that the wars and the atrocities going on in Asia are just so little known in our part of the world. I mean,
the flexibility that exists in this, with this symposium, where they can go to different workshops, will expose them to a variety of information, more information, and I think if they can walk out of here feeling just a bit more empowered and even with a bit more knowledge, I think that'll be a benefit to all students and society as a whole.
I'm a high school history and social studies teacher in Kelowna. I'm also an active and serving member of the Hong Kong Veterans Commemorative Association, something we'll talk about in a few minutes here. And this is a friend of mine, Lee Naylor. His father was a Hong Kong veteran and he's somewhat of a Battle Hong Kong historian, so to speak. So I'm the teacher and he's the expert. So between the two of us, hopefully we'll be able to answer your questions and give you a good idea about who our Hong Kong veterans are, what they had to go through, and related specifically to the symposium topics of human rights in World War II in the Asia Pacific.
It was failing of the fighting spirit that the Japanese government was worried about. They needed to find a solution to satisfy the soldiers' sex desires and prevent STDs. The solution was comfort women.
지금 위안부라고 그러잖아요. 위안부라고. 그러니까 군인 전장 잘하라고.
So when they're being brought into these situations, the psychological harm that might have done, right? If you can imagine that. So.
And what I'm trying to have you think about, I'm not asking you to walk out of here at the end of this and say, okay, I have all the answers. I'm not offering many answers. I want to offer questions more. But is it the fact that even our society, if we start scale valuing people, does that not itself open up the possibility that we can devalue people to the point where they have no value? At Harbin, at the so-called Epidemic Prevention and Water Sanitation Facility, which was called, the Chinese and the Russians and the POWs that they experimented on were referred to as lumber, logs. They weren't any different than a piece of wood.
My challenge to you at the end of this, and as we're wrapping up, is as Canadians, with the Canadian flag, one of the more respected symbols, what are we capable of? We don't have massive atrocities going on right now. And I don't think there's any need to expect that you're going to go home and create a safety zone in your backyard. But you need to think about global citizenship as something that goes beyond the rah-rah, let's talk about it.
Because I came back from China with about 40 hours worth of videotape. And the video itself is about 35 minutes. This video was intended for you guys, for students who are in either grade 10, 11, and 12 in history or in the social studies class.
What I want you to do, rather than me tell you what's important or us direct the questions, try to think of some other questions you have about the material you saw, anything about this time in history, and we'll try to answer your questions rather than us tell you what we think is important in this video. So,
A couple of Americans coming all the way over. Why? Why the word? Pardon? Spread the word. To spread the word? Yeah. Anything else?
We visited when we were in Shanghai, where it was a comfort house, a comfort station.
All the students I've talked to have had really great things to say about the workshops they've attended, and I think everyone was really energetic here.
I think it would be better if it was longer because there's so much that we could learn and we only have a short period of time. And like I was talking to one of the veterans earlier, and it's just not enough time to find all the info. And
I would really recommend this symposium to a lot of people, maybe even younger grades than me, because I'm in grade 10. And we're just one class of grade 10s here, and if we had more younger grades and more people getting involved, it would be better.
It's hard for teachers to talk about something that they feel they don't know enough and they might not be able to answer all the students' questions. So hopefully if they come, then they get a bit and they get curious and they learn more about it as well.
Generally, I just think it's really fascinating. If anyone has a chance to check it out, definitely a good idea. You get to learn a lot more about different issues that you don't necessarily touch on in school. It's a lot of things that most students, I think, are quite ignorant on, and if you have the opportunity to learn about those, I think you should definitely take the initiative, try to go out and to do it. It's free, it's just one day off school, but you learn so much and you're able to pass that on through the rest of your life, which is really good.